Hello, everybody. How are you doing? This is Physical Media Tonights, and I'm Ken, and I'm your host tonight, and we're here to talk about physical media. Yeah, I figured I wanted to do the boutique label tier ranking like in August. I think I did it August of last year, but things just got super busy. Then I was like, I'll do it in September. I'll do it in October. And I just kept pushing it and pushing it. I'm like, you know what? The hell with it. We're going to do it tonight. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to do a boutique label tier ranking. I think this is the second time I've done this. I think I wanted to say I did it 3 times, but no, I think this is the second time. But I like to make this a yearly thing and do it towards the, past the midway point at least, so we can gain a clear understanding of the landscape of the boutique labels in 2024. And this is really kind of just a cumulative thing. Not really like how each boutique label has done in 2024 specifically, because I do a ranking video usually at the end of the year, ranking all the boutique labels. But this is more or less just like how I see these boutique labels at this point in time, just based on everything that they've done up until this point, and just kind of their station in the overall like physical media landscape at this point. But yeah, thank you all for being here. We got 95 people in the chat already. I appreciate it. I am drinking some coffee tonight out of my Halloween Resurrection mug. I'm in a Halloween mood. I guess I got my Michael Myers shirt on and I got my Resurrection. We're past Halloween, guys. What is this? November the 6th? I don't have any Thanksgiving shirts though, so that's what happens. But yeah, thank you all for being here. 96 people. We're gonna have some fun tonight. We got some other topics to dive into as well. Just the usual, the usual Wednesday night live stream. I am gonna make, I think, 9:30 the new time, because I was doing 9:45. Now we're gonna go back to 9:30. That way I can try to get this wrapped up at least before midnight so I can get to bed. Guys, I'm not gonna lie to you. It's been tough. Tomorrow will be my 11th day in a row working. Like, we've got a big inventory project at work, and it's been grueling. So hopefully I get this weekend off. I'm hoping that I do. But thank you all for being here. We got Kevin Kruger. Kevin's kind of a celebrity in these live streams at this point. Everybody's talking about him below, I saw. But Kevin gets in here early. And, this question was proposed at 6:14 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And he asked his questions. So, like, you got to respect that, and he bombards me with questions. Some of them I can answer, some of them I can't. But Kevin, he says, what are 5 underrated Christmas movies? 5? I don't know. That's a lot, Kevin. Underrated Christmas movies? I know all the big ones. I love all the big ones. Let's say The Shop Around the Corner. I just watched that last year for the first time. And, it's really kind of You Got Mail was a remake of that. But it's got James Stewart in it. And I really enjoyed that movie. So we'll say that one. I'll say, can I go like all classic? I'll say the original Miracle on 34th Street. I feel like more people know like the remake, but I really like the original a lot. A lot. So yeah, the original Miracle on 34th Street. Christmas in Connecticut was a good one. I watched that one last year for the first time. I'll say White Christmas, because I think more people should jump on the White Christmas train. There is a train in the movie. And I love that movie. I'm excited for the 4K whenever it decides to show up at my house. And the last one, let's say Prancer. It's pretty good, right? Yeah, there you go. I hope so. If I get it, I still haven't got my Late Night with the Devil set. The hell's up with that? The most overpriced label is by far Imprints. What is your biggest pet peeve? I don't know, Kevin. Is it like a physical media pet peeve or just in general pet peeve? I might have to think about that. Oh, my biggest pet peeve in physical media, though, is getting a slipcover damaged in the mail from Amazon. Look at my Zodiac. It's all screwed up. It's all screwed up. What's the first R-rated movie you watched in the theaters? I want to say Scream 2. I remember seeing Scream 2. I don't think I saw the first one in the theaters, but my sister got me into see the second one. Uh, damn. I haven't seen a ton of the. See, I really love the movie Brad's Status. I think that came out in 2017. That was a good Ben Stiller movie. But Vince Vaughn's got Brawl and Cell Block 99, and that's phenomenal. But they're both good. I'll say Vince Vaughn. I think he's got slightly more broad range. God, as a teen, I don't know. I'm trying to think. Probably Jennifer Love Hewitt, because I love Can't Hardly Wait. So maybe that. Maybe her. What actors do you dislike? As of right now, not a ton. Oh, Johnny Depp, I'm not a huge fan of. Not very often. Damn, Kevin, you're cutting to the cord tonight. What is a common misconception about you? Well, that one probably on this channel is that I don't watch movies. I just collect packaging. A lot of people like to say that, even though I logged 40 movies watched in the month of October, for Christ's sake. But yeah. What's the last movie you ever rented from Blockbuster? I can't remember that, Kevin. Name an underrated 90s action movie. Broken Arrow. Broken Arrow is an underrated 90s action movie. All right, we got through the Kevin Kruger wall of questions. I did that in what, 5-6 minutes? 127 people in the chat. Please hit the like button. There's only 40 likes. We can do better than that. I would appreciate it if you guys hit the like button. If you're watching on the TV, you know, I probably don't look great on the TV, but you can hit the like button on there as well. How am I sounding, everybody? I didn't check the sound. Can you guys hear me? I didn't like Kiss Kiss Bang Bang. I'm going to be honest. I didn't like it, Michelle. And welcome. Kobe Dog says I look good on the TV. I doubt that. I doubt it. But I hope I'm coming in clear. I hope I'm coming in loud. And I hope there's no internet interference tonight. So this is my third night in a row going live. And it's gone pretty well so far. I did a live stream with my wife on Monday. I did Frank's Media and Reviews last night. I was over on his channel talking about the best releases of October and what we're looking forward to in November. So go check that out. I put that up on my community tab, but go check it out after this live stream. Okay. Because I want you guys to stay here. We're going to have some fun tonight. We're ranking boutique labels. Okay. That's fun. Let me get back up here, guys. If I miss people, I'm sorry. We got Bucky in here. Do I ever feel like I'm being interrogated by Kevin? It does feel that way when it's like bombarded over and over again. Yeah, 4Ks are fantastic. Yeah, we'll talk. But look, I feel like I am pretty fair. Okay, when it comes to stuff, I look at things. Of course, I have my biases. Everybody does. They have their favorites. But I try to look at things from a pretty objective point of view. You know, even if I don't like collect a ton from that label, I do like to look at the label as a whole. Scream Factory and B. S rank is easily second sight, Arrow, and Umbrella. Kevin is infatuated with you, Ken. 30 minutes early. He's already has questions for you. Let's see. No, he had them in 3 hours ago. What's up, Screaming Geek Media? Excited about vampires and Demeter as I've been cussing Universal since last October. One to forecast. Stood my ground, and that's good. I stood my ground too, and I still haven't seen the movie. So I want to get that 4K as well. Maybe, possibly. What did I say in the video yesterday? I said maybe I get it, I think. Or maybe I get the Blu-ray. Last Voyage of the Meter getting a 4K is the most exciting to me. One of my favorite movies last year. So glad I waited. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I might get it. It's got new features, right? What's up, Adrian? What's up, Maria? Uh, how was everyone's night last night? My last night was pretty good. It's pretty good. Are you going to go on another buying freeze? Yeah, maybe. At the beginning of the year, I might. I'm trying to keep myself from having to go on a buying freeze. I'm just trying to scale back some of the money that I'm spending. You know, I'm holding myself back a lot more this year. I feel like I say that, and I'm doing like these big haul videos like every week. Like I just filmed one before this live stream. It should be out this weekend, but I got another stack of stuff in to talk about. April Fool's Day. Yeah, I only had that on DVD, so I'm looking forward to getting that on 4K. Not yet. I'm hoping to make it to Barnes and Noble this weekend. Like I said, if I'm off work, maybe I can make that happen. Did they actually announce April Fool's Day though? Like, is it officially announced? Like, is that official? The features and everything? I didn't see the artwork on it. Yeah, Kino does good restoration work, but they are usually lacking in features. But I'm sure they'll have the Scream Factory features on there. I want to say they will. They've done Scream Factory stuff in the past, and I think that ported over. A lot of the labels like to work with each other. Oh damn! No, I ordered mine from Diabolic, and I got mine like immediately. I filmed a review for that today as well, so hopefully I have that out by Friday. Let's see. Everybody's talking. See, I haven't even made it to after me going live. I think I put Vestron on my list too, and I think I also put Mill Creek on there. I probably shouldn't. I'm gonna bring up my list, and I'm gonna ask you guys if I'm missing anything, and I'll add it like last minute if you guys want me to. But yeah, I put Vestron and Mill Creek on there out of habit, but I'm like, I don't think Vestron's done anything this year. But again, I said it wasn't going to be like strictly based on this year. All right. Trick or Treat was just as good as I remembered. I freaking loved it. Honestly, an 80s classic that I hope more people get to see. Yeah, I'm excited to put my review out, talk about that one. I had some things to say. Yeah, I did a review of Swamp Thing last year. Have not seen the newer Swamp Thing, only the original. What's up, Steve? How you doing, buddy? What's up, Frank? Yeah, this guy. I was on Frank's channel last night talking physical media, so go check that out. 2019 for Swamp Thing was great. I'm still mad they canceled it. Yeah, I never got a chance to check that out. Didn't James Wan like produce that or something? I think. Wasn't that a thing? What's up, Eli? What's up, Michelle? What's up, Van Gool? Okay. Yeah, I said it in my review. I wasn't sure if they sold out a B yet because the last time I checked out the site, they still had some B covers in stock. You're guessing Criterion's going in the S tier? We'll see. We'll see. I'll take an objective look, like I said. Criterion's had a decent last year or two, for sure. Jerrison's here. I'm excited for this ranking. I'm excited to do it. The top three are Second Sight, Arrow Video, and Vinegar Syndrome. I don't know, Frank. We'll see. We'll see. Yeah, go ahead and drop your what would you guys let me ask this question. What would you guys put in the A tier? Not S tier. What would you guys put in the A tier? Put that in the which is right below S. And I didn't name them like fancy names or anything this year. I usually put stuff, but I just put SABCD, just like it comes. Because people get so like caught up in that. It's like, what do you mean this is wait for the sale, but this is pick up immediately? Great, best. What is that? I'm just like, you know what? I'm just gonna do it old school tier list. Nothing. Um, I honestly don't think there was a time where I probably would have put it in the top five. I don't know if I can get it in my top five anymore because I'm not completely in love. I love the movie, but I'm not completely in love with the ending to the movie. Certain something happens to a certain character that I don't love. I like Django better. I like Once Upon a Time in Hollywood better. I like Pulp Fiction better. Reservoir Dogs better. Um, I feel like there's one more big one. I'm like, oh, The Hateful Eight. I think I like better as well. So there's a few. There's a few that I'm a bigger. Oh, Kill Bill. How could I forget Kill Bill? Of course, Kill Bill. Like that's my freaking number one. I think. Um. Oh, nice. Yeah, mine did as well. You'll see me freak out my upcoming video. I'm like, I got a Jason X card. I got a Jason X card. I'm flipping. I wanted a Jason Goes to Hell one though. Sharknado Christmas? I don't think so, Frank. I don't think so. Oh, nice. You got White Christmas. Oh, nice. You got Caligula, huh? Yeah, that edition that Draft House did over here. I saw some images of that. That looks pretty nice. That looks pretty nice. I got the Umbrella edition. That's pretty nice too. Yeah, that always sucks. I hear you. I mean, honestly, like it's not often like if there's one movie that I want to get for that week, I usually go Amazon just because I'm not going to order one movie and pay $6 shipping from Diabolic or Orbit. I like to bundle stuff together. Now, if it's a pre-order, like on a overseas release or something, I grab it. But which label? We'll talk about that later, Dave, when I do the tier ranking, because that's a big factor. I hate Polar Express. Hate it. Hate it. No, I didn't. I didn't order the Cannibal the musical. I didn't order that. I got Congo only. That's the only thing I got. I might grab some other stuff when they bring it back at the end of the month. I'm trying to look. I'm trying to wait and see what they announce. Watching Lord of the Rings extended trilogy. I haven't seen them in a while, so I gave them a spin. I mean, Lord of the Rings is great. I mean, yeah, those movies make me sad though, because I'm just like, damn it, they just don't make stuff like this anymore. Like, come on. Outland was the first R-rated film I saw as a kid. Is that Outland? Is that the one with Sean Connery? I think I got that on VHS. I can't find it over there. Yeah, Outland. The one with Sean Connery. No, I didn't get it. Somebody showed me a picture of the freaking new Kevin Smith movie, Lionsgate. You might be watching right now, but he sent it to me on Instagram. And the actual steelbook inside the slipcover of this damn thing is a VHS tape, and it like from his pictures, like it looked like a VHS. It's the 4:30 movie, and I think it came out this week. I'm gonna try to pull this up if I can find some images. Because that never got like. See, I'm looking at it on Amazon, and I don't see anything. I don't even know if this got like an official announcement or it just went up. 4:30 movie. Yeah, they don't have any. They don't have any images online of this thing. I'm not seeing at least. But I'll show you guys just so you know. But it's a nice cover anyway. But this steelbook right here, the 430 movie, which I don't know if it's good. It might be good. It might be bad. I don't know. Kevin Smith hasn't exactly been firing on all cylinders lately. But he took the steel out of the slipcover, and that thing is a freaking VHS tape, and it looked like a VHS. I was like, is that a real VHS in there? But the steelbook actually has the aesthetic of a VHS tape. And I'm like, just because of that, like I gotta get it now. I'm a simple man. Like you do a cool steelbook and I'll buy it. You know, the movie could be shit, but I'll buy it. It's just the way I am, guys. That's the way I roll. I'm sorry if that offends anybody. Sometimes it does, but that's the way it is. Let's see. We got Bronson writes Wolf with a $5 super chat. Thank you so much, man. He said Trick or Treat 1986 is one of my favorites. Have you ever listened to the Trick or Treat movie soundtrack by Fastway? It's a fun album to listen to. No, but I mean, I heard it in the movie, like, and I loved it. Like, I love the soundtrack in that movie, but I haven't listened to it on its own. But they put a soundtrack CD in that release, so that CD's in there. I actually don't remember if because I just got my car back in April. No, it was July, I think, that I got my car because my car got totaled back in April. And I think I got my new one in June or July. I can't remember if it has a CD player or not. I need to check that because if it does, like I might listen to that on my way to work tomorrow. But yeah, it was great music. I love the music for sure. So yeah, thank you for the $5 super chat, Bronson. I appreciate that. And if I'm going to give you a little super clip for that, a little gym right now. I think everybody could use a little gym.
Oh, and in case I don't see you, good afternoon, good evening, and good night.
Jim Carrey. All right. We got Greg Harris with $1.99 super chat. Can't appreciate the production you put in your channel. I appreciate you watching, Greg. Okay. I appreciate you watching. And I say to you, what production? My quality's taking a hit. I'm doing live streams that look like VHS tapes, for Christ's sake. But I appreciate the comment. It keeps me motivated, keeps me optimistic about the future. And I appreciate that. Let me give you a little super clip as well.
It's coming! It's headed right for us!
It's already here. Everybody on the ground now. Thank you so much, Greg. I appreciate it. All right, let's see where we're at now. Let's see. Who do you like better, Scream Factor versus everybody? You're gonna have to wait till I do the ranking. Be 2-0. You're gonna have to wait. Both Jason Segel. Look, I like Jason Segel because I was a big How I Met Your Mother fan, and also Forgetting Sarah Marshall. I think is one of the funniest comedies of the 2000s. So and I Love You, Man. Like I love you, man. So he was on a lot of good movies back in the day. Doesn't feel like he does much now, but that happens, guys. You're popular, you're hot one day, and then you're not the next day, and that's a thing. I feel like I need to adjust my brightness. I feel like I'm too bright. Let me tone this down a little bit. Jeez Louise. Let me take it all the way down. Can I do my stream for the rest of the night like this? You guys can barely hear me or not hear me, but see me. I think that'd probably be for the best. No, I'll raise it back up. There you go, guys. Yeah, I feel like I was blinding myself. All right. I got cover B of Trick or Treats. It's a nice cover. Arrow Video for sure at the top. Also, I pre-ordered Arrow Video release of Inglourious Basterds. Hopefully the transfer is approved and supervised by Quentin Tarantino. Yeah, it's the month of Quentin in January. You got Inglourious Basterds 4K, Kill Bills, and Jackie Brown all supposed to come out in January. January's shaping up to be pretty damn incredible. What's going on, Tiana? I hope you're doing well. Good to see you. Cheryl's in here. She got B2. Let's see. I hate Jennifer Aniston. I mean, I don't know if I could hate on Jennifer Aniston. You know, she was in Leprechaun. You know, I love Leprechaun. So it's really the best thing she's been in. Sounds great. I'm way behind on the chat. You sound fine on my end. I like that. You know, it's all nice to say everybody's entitled to their own opinion on movies, but you know that deep down sometimes we're like, how the do you have that opinion of that movie? It's like, you're dumb. I know people say that all the time to me. And I'm always like, be respectful of everybody's opinions on movies. Everybody's different. But there are some movies that you're like, really? You don't like that? Or really? You like that? That does happen. We're all pretty judgmental of each other sometimes when it comes to the movies. But, you know, is what it is. You know, we like what we like. As long as you're being truthful and honest, you know, to yourself, then that's all that matters. Picture quality is fine. Thank you. I appreciate that, Van Gogh. I didn't even put Sandpiper on there. I don't consider them a boutique. I mean, they don't do new special features or anything like that. Best release of October for sure goes to Trick or Treat and Nightmare on Elm Street, but the box set because all the artwork sucks. Okay, I get what you're saying, Cheryl. I get what you're saying. Yeah, there are I mean, it's getting fierce out there for sure. Competition's getting fierce. Bronson Wright Wolf with another $5 super chat. Thank you so much. Ozzy Osbourne makes a cameo appearance in Adam Sandler's film Little Nicky. Ozzy's picture from the Trick or Treat DVD cover is in Little Nicky's room. Yeah, I remember that. I remember seeing that DVD cover because they showed it off in the making of on the Synops release. I was like, damn, that is bad, and that is not that is not Ozzy from Trick or Treat. I talked about that in my review. I'm like, I feel like they sold this movie like it was Ozzy and Gene Simmons in it. And Ozzy's in the movie for like a minute, maybe if that. And I'll be honest, I didn't even notice Gene Simmons. I didn't. Like I was looking for him. Like I don't know where he was. But yeah, that's a pretty horrible cover, an inaccurate representation of that movie for sure. But I love Little Nicky. If somebody can do a box set of that, I'd be happy. Thank you so much, Bronson. I appreciate that. I'll give you a little clip of good old Al.
She got a great ass, and you got your head all the way up it.
All the way up in it. All right, let's get back to it. Let's get rolling. I got to get into some of these. I got a couple news stories to talk about. Then we're going to get into the ranking. Oh, you like the Goodfellas 4K? See, I haven't actually watched it, but it's nice to hear somebody that's high on it because I've heard bad things about it. So I've heard it's like one of the worst 4Ks along with T2. I appreciate that. No name. Can't wait for April Fool's 4K, says Tiana. Nice. Orbit seems to be better now than Diabolic. Yeah, they're making me mad. Already read that. All right. Does anyone collect horror movies on DVD format? I've been collecting and I feel it will be worth something in the future. If I find a cool one and it's not too expensive, then I'll get it. Especially if it's at a Goodwill or something. But like I can barely find horror at a Goodwill. I guess people get there and they scoop it up or something, but it's rare that I can find a horror film at the Goodwill anymore. I used to find them all the time, it feels like. Trek or Not is here. Turbine and Cape Light are good. Yeah, I didn't put them on the list. I'm just not as familiar with them. I know Frank's in here. He's a big Cape Light guy. Political movie opinions. I don't know. People just, I don't know. I don't want to get into it. Criterion just isn't my thing. Too artsy for me. Every time I buy one and watch it, I end up selling it. I don't know. Criterion just isn't my thing. Yeah. I mean, for sure. I think that's kind of the reputation, but they got regular movies as well. They got great movies. Actually, I did a video. I just filmed a video where I talked about 11 in my collection that needs to be in your collection, you know? And there's some good stuff. Like Criterion's got a lot of really great movies. Not just the artsy fartsy stuff. What's up, T Shafi? Yeah, and Swamp Thing was Derek Mears. Dude can't catch a break. Yeah, it sucks. I heard about that, I think. Mill Creek is dog shit. I avoid them at all costs. Yeah, I mean, Mill Creek is borderline. I mean, they're not really a boutique label. They don't do new features or anything like that. I put them on the list because they will do it like exclusive steel books and stuff from time to time, but it's been a while since they've done that. I actually know they did it this year. They did the Hollow Man. They did the Walk Hard. That was them. So they did some cool steel books this year that I think are worth maybe bringing them on the list. And Vestron has not done new releases. I'm just not thinking of this, but they've done new steel books this year for their past releases. So Vestron has put stuff out this year as well. So I'm going to keep Vestron and Mill Creek on the list. There we go. And Cole, the collection, time to remove some impulse buys and gain some space back. You know, that's definitely been entering my mind a little bit more. I'll be honest. Because I already need another shelf. And it's like, I already put up 2 this year so far. It's like, damn, really? I already need another shelf? It's getting crazy in here. Still my favorite boutique label. It got me in the film and physical media like 20 years ago, but Kim would probably classify my taste as pinkies up. No. I just joke about that. I mean, Criterion, I'm not even saying I'm not into the movies they do because I haven't checked enough of them out. Criterion's done a lot of great stuff. Usually when I watch a Criterion movie, like I'm most of the time satisfied with it. Or I like it, or it becomes like one of my new favorite classic movies. So I'm not saying anything bad about Criterion. I've got my issues with other things that Criterion does, but nothing to do with the releases really. Yeah, Dark Sky I didn't put on there. Maybe I should. Maybe that's one I maybe need to add. I kind of just threw it together. I got I think 23 on there right now. Okay, A is Arrow for you. Gotcha. Yeah, I don't know. I was hoping they would do stuff like Bed Knobs and Broomsticks, Mary Poppins. Like that would be cool. I haven't done it yet, Delightful Astronaut. You have to wait. You have to hold on. I like Swamp Thing, Emmett. Oh, nice. They restocked it. Cool. That's a good A. That might be a my A, to be honest. But I don't know. I do this stuff on the spot, guys. I don't know ahead of time like where I'm gonna put stuff. I like to do it as I'm doing it. If that makes sense. I like to do it when I do it. Vinegar Syndrome, Severin, Kino Lorber. Okay. Criterion is S tier. Oh man, Saturn Video, you put Criterion in S tier? Okay. I mean, look, Criterion's a good label. They are. Arrow and Criterion in my S tier. Okay. I get that for sure. I feel that. And I do think that price should factor in a little bit, you know. Severin's in the A tier, it says Daniel. Criterion is the best, followed by Arrow. Don't forget Jackie Brown. I didn't. I said Jackie Brown. People don't like Criterion because, well, they're mostly horror channels. Criterion's got some good horror, though. They do. I just, I don't pick up a lot of Criterion's day one. So like I don't get excited for them like I do some of the other labels that I pre-order for and all that. And the main reason is because I know that there's going to be 2 months out of the year where stuff's going to go down to 20 and $25 on Blu-ray and 4K, and I can scoop them all up then. So Criterion just a label that I always end up putting on the back burner because of that. And Kino Lorber's starting to get that way, but Kino Lorber will put stuff out that's like, I gotta have it when it comes out. And it's only $27 to get it on 4K versus Criterion's 35. And I've even seen recent 4Ks go for pre-order for $40. So it's getting a little expensive over there at the Criterion Collection. I don't know. I don't know. Give them time. Maybe there's something going on with it. See, I don't even have I don't have one oscilloscope. I also don't have indicator on there because I just don't get anything from indicator. I mean, they announced they were working on it, or I think the crew or the cast announced they were working on it at a convention or something. So it's coming eventually. Just don't know when. Yeah, I should have got that maybe, but damn, it was too much for one movie. I already gave him enough with the never-ending story. Oh, I should have said that one. I do love Deck the Halls. I love that one. I made my family watch that this year, and that's a favorite for sure. I like that one a lot. I do. Arrow, Second Sight, Criterion, Kino, Scream from Best to Good in the sequence. Okay. Criterion is for the film buffs. Most horror fans think they're pretentious. Well, everybody can be pretentious about something, That's what I'm learning more and more, like in this space, is what makes a movie pretentious. What makes it be classified as pretentious? You can be pretentious about like I've said this before, but like Vinegar Syndrome fans and Criterion fans are like two sides of the same coin. Like one's like super into the cult horror stuff, obscure stuff, and one's super into the like, really artsy, obscure stuff as well, like older foreign films from the 30s and 40s and 50s, French movies, Japanese movies, South Korean movies, Italian movies, and all that kind of stuff. But they're both pretentious in their own way. They're just pretentious about the movies that they enjoy. So I think that, everybody can be pretentious about a genre that they enjoy. I don't really think that's exclusive to any one type of movie. Like I can be pretentious about like stupid 90s comedies. I can be pretentious about Adam Sandler films. So I do think that's kind of a weird argument to make. But the way that Vinegar Syndrome like supports their label, their fans, and Criterion supports their label, like it really is like a rabid fan base, and they will attack people that oppose them in that label. Like I've noticed that before. Because if I say something bad about Criterion, I got people that come for me. If I say something bad about Vinegar Syndrome, I got people that come for me. But in reality, like I think they're both great labels that are doing great work. I just always have criticisms because you gotta have something to talk about, right? Right. If I don't have anything to talk about, then why the hell am I here? Indicator and Second Sight are the best from the UK. I need to get into Indicator more. I should. I got the 4K special edition of Demolition Man. Nice. Bronson Wright Wolf with the $2 super chat. Thank you so much. What are your thoughts on Jim Carrey as the Grinch? I love Jim Carrey as the Grinch. I love Jim Carrey in general. So that is my thoughts. I mean, of course, I love the original, but like Jim Carrey's The Grinch, like that's a movie my family and I usually watch if not every Christmas, like every other Christmas, But as far as the new Grinch that came out back in 2018, this is what I'll say about that.
It stinks! Someplace stinks!
It wasn't good. The one with Benedict Cumberbatch. I did not like that one. I did not like that one. Thank you again for the $2 super chat, Bronson. Awesome. Would I do a top 3 Thanksgiving movies? I mean, what am I going to put in my top 3 Thanksgiving movies? Thanksgiving, Thanksgiving, and Planes, Trains, and Automobiles? Is there a ton of what's that one movie with Holly Hunter, Home for the Holidays? There's just not a lot of Thanksgiving movies. I don't know if it's enough to rank. I don't know. Maybe it is. I'll be honest. I'm not the biggest V for Vendetta fan. I watched it. I think I watched it a couple. That was probably like 5 years ago by now. Oh yeah, I gotta yawn. I think I watched that back in 2019, 2018. And I don't know, the movie just doesn't have an energy. I don't know, it just doesn't have a pace to it. I just don't really enjoy it all that much. It was good. Good features too. People forget the budgets for the Lord of the Rings films weren't massive. They were complete passion projects. They don't make movies like those. I know, man. They went over to New Zealand and just went to work. Peter Jackson, man, he like every time I watch those movies, I'm like, are these the greatest movies of all time? Like they're just they're so freaking good. They're so freaking good. There was a time though that I looked down on Lord of the Rings. Like when Game of Thrones was really popping off, I was like, Lord of the Rings is for kids. Game of Thrones is like the adult fantasy content. And then when Game of Thrones ended, my wife and I went back and rewatched Lord of the Rings, and I'm like, no, these really are great. And in some ways, they're better than Game of Thrones. I really think it's a masterpiece of a trilogy for sure. Return of the King is just one of the greatest movies ever made. I love it. I just ordered Psycho Set and Silence of the Lambs 4K. Arrows from Orbit. Nice, Marius. Nice. Let's see. Okay, the best film he's made in decades, but I didn't like it enough to want to buy it. Not even if it has a steelbook with a VHS, Michelle. I picked up the Pumpkinhead 4K steelbook. That is a nice steelbook. That's one I had to debate about for a little bit. Do I get this? Okay. Well, that's good. That's good at least. Yeah, I hated Clerks 3. Like I hated it. Like I was such a big Kevin Smith fan. Like when I was a kid, I loved Clerks. Like it was one of my favorite movies. Clerks 2 is one of my favorites, but I hated Clerks 3. Hated it so much. Jay and Silent Bob reboot, like I had fun of it, but it was a pretty bad movie. And Yoga Hosers was like god awful. So he just has not made a great movie to me since like I like Red State a lot. I thought that was a good movie. But Tusk, like it's okay, but I don't love that movie, if I'm being honest. Got my Doctor Who season 25 Blu-ray box set, picked it up from HMV and looks really nice. Yeah. Doctor Who. I haven't watched Doctor Who, Adrian. You're gonna have to enlighten me on the Who. Well, was that 281 million for all 3 of the movies? Because if it was for all 3 of the movies, then that's less than 100 per movie. And I think it was probably for all 3 because they did them all at once. So, but I could be wrong. Because 281 million back in the 2000s, like that's massive. So I'm pretty sure it's for, each movie or for all 3 of the movies. That's right, guys. I'm here to announce my candidacy for 2028. I'm going to run on the platform of I'm going to bring you an Ernest P. Worrell 4K box set. That's my big mission for 2028. For all the films though, Cheryl. That's like a budget of Red One now. Yeah. Yeah, I haven't gotten into the branding stuff, K Pfeiffer. Maybe someday. Maybe someday. Yeah, it's a good show. I did pre-order Rumpelstiltskin. We'll live in a Blu-ray house instead of the White House. I would like to purchase a mid-level media baby bib. I didn't get the baby bib bundle. I just got the regular bundle. Have you been unburdened by what has been? They need to release season 1. I've been waiting years since they started releasing box sets. I know there's a lot of Who stuff that gets announced. I do know that. Oh, that's big. Yeah, I'm excited to talk about that one on Monday. I do plan to, if I can make it to the Barnes and Noble soon. Sorry guys, I got to breeze through the chat a little bit. I'm sorry if I miss people, but I have to get to this tier ranking eventually. We're already 50 minutes in. 214 people in here. If you haven't hit the like button, hit the like button for me, please, please. Let's see. Oh, really? You didn't like Congo? I love Congo. Yeah, I do kind of want We Were Soldiers. I do kind of want that. I haven't pre-ordered that yet, though, or I haven't bought it. It came out this week. I have not seen those. I used to not have any issues with them, but now they're slacking a little bit. I might have to call them about that Late Night with the Devil because I paid the money. Like, I literally ordered that within 30 minutes of it being announced. It's like, why do I not have it yet? I get really entitled when it comes to my physical media. Give it to me now, damn it. I want it. Limited collector's edition horror DVDs will be worth money. Standard releases, not so much. Yeah. I don't, I got a few. I bought that Wicker Man set, that DVD set. It's like made about like a block of wood. And I got it because Garrett from Born to Be Rad kept showing it off. And I was like, damn it, I love that movie and I want that. That looks cool. But when I actually got it in, like, it wasn't as cool as the pictures made it out. I'm so glad to have it though. Because I do love that movie. I think the Goodwill workers snatch them all up or they go straight to online store. They might. If some of the Goodwill people are wise to that kind of stuff, I could see that happening. But I don't feel like anybody in my area is that wise to that. Criterion and Disney were never a thing. That was just director that wanted his film in the collection. Yeah. Yeah. We all know Disney doesn't initiate anything unless it's like a new Marvel or Star Wars thing. It's like you have to have the directors to push their stuff. What's up, Brian? How you doing, buddy? We all know Vinegar Syndrome for the win. I mean, come on, Congo and Cannibal. I mean, Brian, you know how I used to feel about Vinegar Syndrome and how I feel now. I did a complete 180. So, I mean, yeah, you give me Congo, you give me Sidekicks, like, you win my heart. Like, if they do Surf Ninjas, like, we're done, game over. That's label number 1 for me. Kino and Criterion are the best for classic Hollywood. Yeah. Epic Cut on 4K. MVD isn't the best, but man, I got respect their 4K chances as well. Excited for the future work by them. MVD has done good work. They have. Make physical media prices great again. Let's see. What's up, Ken and Chad? I cannot decide if I want to get the Suspiria 4K box set or not. I haven't canceled my pre-order yet, but I'm also worried that they're not going to release it in the States. You know, it's weird because it's available to pre-order on Amazon in the US. So I don't know if there's versions that are available over here. I haven't really looked into it, but it was just too expensive for me for one movie, asking $80 and it's just a regular edition. I don't know. I love that movie though. Oh yeah, at the end of the day, I wouldn't say I'm a part of the Criterion cult, but I definitely dip my toes into the Vinegar Syndrome cult a little bit. But I'm all over the place. You know, I like to cover everything and talk about everything and watch everything for sure. I'd say my big allegiance is probably Arrow Video and Second Sight. Trick or Treat is a perfect example of pretentious. You just won't hear it in these circles because this demographic thinks it's amazing, but the rest of the world doesn't care at all. You talking about the new Synopsis Films release? Yeah, I'll be putting out my thoughts on it soon. You know, maybe I'll agree with you, maybe I won't. Yeah. Yeah, I definitely can see that. I definitely can see that. People contain multitudes with taste. I love nearly every Friday the 13th movie. While also in like 6 Criterion box sets. Yeah, I mean that's kind of me. It's like my film tastes are everywhere. That's my whole problem. Like I can't really identify like any particular genre or type of film um, that I love like more than the other, or that I guess I don't like. So I just like even ones that I'm like, I haven't really got into it yet. I'm like, but I feel like I could if I keep trying. So I don't feel like there's anything that I just outright don't like. So I just want to keep trying to experience all different kinds of movies from different time periods and genres and countries. And I don't know. I like it all, I guess. So yeah. And that's the cool thing about physical media is there's just so much different variety, different types of films and movies, and it's all awesome, you know. And it's different stuff for different people. Like there's something for everybody. There honestly is. Honestly is. Um, I think I would classify them potentially as a boutique. I mean, they did put out Puppet Master on 4K. You know, they did the work on that. So, what is the label that you were totally out on? Just like done with them? Um, See, it's hard for me to say I'm completely done with this label, you know, because if they announce something I want, like I'm not going to be done with them. Um, but a label that I think is, I don't want to say overhyped. They do good stuff, but like Severin, I don't always have the best experience with. Um, and I'll be honest, like I got this movie right here. Like they will straight up like lie sometimes. Like this Butcher Baker Nightmare Maker, it promoted 6 hours of new features, and those 6 hours of new features are audio commentaries. Like, so they're not even really new features. It's audio commentaries, which is you could say that's a new feature, but like that's not what you consider 6 hours of special features as 3 audio commentaries. So it's like they do stuff like that. It might be 4 audio commentaries. And the whole Kathy's curse thing kind of rubbed me the wrong way too. And then they put out Opera and it was messed up. And I don't know. They're not. But Cemetery Man was a great release. I can give them credit for that. But I think they're way overpriced for what they actually give you. When you compare like the quality of their box sets and their releases to Vinegar Syndrome, which is cheaper, it doesn't even compare to me, in my opinion, and Second Sight as well. Like you got the Hitcher for $60. It's this big ass box set with these big books inside and everything. Or you can get Cemetery Man for 60 or $65, and it's in a little flimsy case with a small booklet. So for me, like, I don't know. I think Severin's a little overhyped. They're not on Vinegar Syndrome's level at all, in my opinion. But people act like they kind of are. That being said, we'll talk about Severin a little bit later tonight. Let's see. Plainview is not a fan of the Grinch. I did get another super chat from 818 Sega. $5. What up, Ken? I'm crossing my fingers for a Turtles 4K trilogy box set. I might be in the minority, but I always enjoyed TMNT 3. I'm open to rewatch it. I hated it as a kid, but maybe I would be like, you know what, this isn't that bad as an adult. I don't know. But to me, the best Turtles in Time anything is the Super Nintendo game, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 4, Turtles in Time. That's the best. I need to check that out. I might have that back there, but I have not watched it. I haven't watched it. If you want to count Addams Family, like they do the play at the end, but that movie's not doesn't take place on Thanksgiving. But I get it. It gives you the Thanksgiving feels. It is. Yeah, Son-in-Law. Son-in-Law is a good one. So there's a lot of them I just might not think of as Thanksgiving movies, but they are. All right, guys, we're scrolling through. Greg's a fan of Tusk. I do not. I remember they did that black and white version a couple of years ago. Mid-level media thongs are coming. That's what we're currently developing right now. Yeah. So look out for that. We're throwing Disney out. We're throwing them out. If I get in there. Ernest saves physical media. Chunky box set, of course. Yes. That's exactly what we'll call it. You know, I think that's a winning campaign strategy to tell people I'll put the Ernest films out. 4K box set, not just Blu-ray. We're not going to half-ass it. We're going to go in full. We're going to go in full on 4K box set. Yes, the subspecies movies used to scare the shit out of me as a kid. Like that Dracula or that vampire in that movie, I forget his name in real life, but he scared me like bad. I remember watching those movies. Now I haven't seen them in a while. I do have, I think, the first 3 on Blu-ray, but I need to check those out again. I'm sure I wouldn't be that phased by it at this point, but. What's up, Planet Mondo? I'm hoping Amazon doesn't cancel my Terminator Steelbook. I pre-ordered it on the first day, but I hope not either, man. They better not. Yeah, I thought about getting that. I might pick that up in the sale, but you're saying not to? Not to? Well, I'm sorry, Mozart, but I try to answer. I try to, talk to everybody in the chat. I don't like to skip over people, but I try to. And I'm not 30 minutes behind. I'm currently 12. So that's not 30 minutes. Come on, Mozart's Ghost. Come on. I try, guys. Look, there's 201 people in here right now, which I'm thankful for. Thank you all for being here. All right. It's more than I deserve. I appreciate it. But it's hard to keep up with everybody. I try. I do my best. Get off my case, Mozart. Just because you don't have your 4K out yet doesn't mean you can get all pissy in my chat. All right. I already answered that. The remaster of Batman v Superman 4K's IMAX scene had to be the sharpest 4K images I've ever seen. Definitely worth a double dip for those that have the old one. Nice. Yeah, I ain't going to call anybody out. All right. But I've been in chats before where they don't even address the chat, but like maybe a couple times if they get some super chats, and that's it. So I do my best to try to get to everybody. I do when I find them for cheap. I'm not trying to pay $8 or $9 or $10 for a VHS tape or anything like that. But if I can find one in a Goodwill or some of the thrifting flea markets I go to, which I haven't been to one in a while, I need to get back to one. I'll grab them. But yeah, $10. I don't know. That's just it. Now, if it was in pristine condition, like maybe $10 I would get it. But most of the VHS tapes I find are pretty like torn and worn and don't look great. And the ones that do look great are ones that I'm not really interested in. So $10 for something that's all torn up and worn down, I ain't paying that because I've seen them try to charge that for those kind of tapes. Yeah, that would be a cool one to put out. But by you saying that, Mozart's Ghost, that in itself is pretentious because you're trying to decide what movie needs a special edition boutique release and what doesn't. And like I said, there's something for everybody. Everybody like there's a lot of people that are happy with that Trick or Treat 4K, Well, I'm always happy to be a distraction for people. Are we gonna get Dante's Peak for? Yeah, we're getting it from Kino. They announced it. I don't know when it's coming, but they announced it. Could be 3 years from now. You never know. King of putting lipstick on a pig. You just negative tonight, Mozart. I think you are upset about Amadeus not being out on 4K yet. I think you are upset about that. I am too, to be honest. I would love to see 4K box set of Mighty Python, which would include the whole TV series and the movies. That would be cool. Two studios doing the same movie, different transfers, like your shirts, Halloween. Well, I mean, that happens sometimes. I mean, because you had Lionsgate, who had the rights for Halloween. They might still have the rights. I don't know, but they acquired the rights, and of course they're going to put it out if they got it because I think they got Halloween because of the Anchor Bay deal. I could be wrong. I know Anchor Bay had Halloween, and Lionsgate acquired Anchor Bay like in the mid 2010s, I want to say, and that's when they put out like the Evil Dead movies, and then they put out Halloween, and then I think something happened where those rights went somewhere else. And that's why the Evil Dead movies, I was actually going to do a video on this. That's why the Evil Dead movies are out of print from Lionsgate. We might see them pop up from somewhere else. And Halloween, of course, I don't think Halloween's in print anymore from Lionsgate. So it happens from time to time. I mean, it's nothing that's like they're doing on purpose. Like Scream Factory just got the rights and they did their own transfer. So. All right, guys. I'm going down, going down, going down. I appreciate that, Jordo. Appreciate that. Yeah, we do need it. Yeah, I try. I do my best. Oh man, Hereditary and the Suspiria remake for Second Sight. That's why I'm always reluctant. I'm like, okay, Imprint just did a really nice Suspiria 4K box set, sure, and it's like $90, but what's the likelihood of Second Sight maybe doing that? Because they share a lot of shit, like, with Australia and the UK. Like, Second Sight's done so many 4Ks that have been put out in Australia, whether it's Umbrella, Imprint. So I'm like, could we maybe get that from Second Sight? And then it would be like $55 or $49.99, and it would be a really nice box set. So I do think about that kind of stuff. But I love Suspiria, but, I got it on Blu-ray. I'm good. I at least have it in the collection. But let's see. All right, guys. I'm trying to get to the end of the chat here. There's a lot. Yeah, Pippi Longstocking, that'd be a good 4K. He's a little, a little argumentative. How do you like this, Marzard? I'm only 1 minute behind in the chat. All right. Marius wants me to review Cheeky. All right, let's cover a couple of news bits real quick, and then we'll dive into the tier ranking. So let me share Instagram. So Severin put up a little tease. I'm guessing they're getting ready to announce the onslaught of Black Friday titles. But judging by this picture, if the chairs are an indication of what they're going to announce, there are 10 chairs. So there should be 10 releases announced for Black Friday. And let me go through the comments section a little bit and see what people are saying. Because I know a long time ago, this was like over a year ago. This was before, I want to say it was definitely before Opera was announced, but I want to say it was before Cemetery Man was announced too, because we were speculating on this last year. But there was word that they were going to do Pieces on 4K. So I'm thinking that this is probably the time for the Pieces 4K to come, which I have not seen that movie, but I've heard good things. So not a lot of comments right here, guys. Not a lot of comments. Severin's not super popular on the Instagram, I guess. But yeah, people are calling out Dario Argento's Inferno, and Blue Underground did mention that they're trying to find the elements for that. So I don't think it's going to be Inferno. But yeah, what do you guys speculate it'll be? It'll probably be Pieces and a bunch of cult horror films that I've never heard of. But it's always exciting when you get some new announcements and things like that. Severin did a really good job. I like the way that Severin does these announcements. They did it for the summer. I think it's cool how they like basically have an image and then they'll just pop up like different characters as they announce stuff. I think that's pretty cool and creative. Instead of announcing everything at once, they kind of make it an event for everyone and give people something to look forward to, something to be excited about, every day. So I think that's kind of cool. And the next thing I want to cover real quick, I could have waited till the Physical Media Report Monday, but I wanted to share this Digital Bits article that came out, I think, today. Yeah, because it says Election Day palette cleanser. So they basically, Bill Hunt, of course, over at the Digital Bits, kind of runs everything. But he said he's been talking to several studios and he's got some insight on some releases that are coming in 2025. So I wanted to go over that list real quick because there's some pretty interesting stuff here. But of course, we already talked about this, but Jackie Brown, Kill Bill Volume 2, and Glorious Bastards all coming to 4K. But another one he brings up is The English Patient is coming to 4K in 2025. We've also got Cold Mountain. And this one I thought was pretty interesting. He's learned that 4K transfers of Kevin Smith's Clerks, Chasing Amy, and Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back are in the pipeline. So I'm assuming that Lionsgate has those, right? I would be assuming, right? And also, where's Dogma in the mix here? Because we did hear that there was word that Kevin Smith got the rights back to Dogma and he would be working on a physical release. Like that was the indication, at least, that would happen. So I wonder why they're leaving Dogma out of this. Because you would think they would want to do all four. Now, Universal owns Mallrats, and they've already done a 4K of that. But the rest of the View Askew-averse, Clerks, Chasing Amy, Dogma, Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back, would definitely be appreciated for 4K. They talk about The Searchers, which I'll go into more in depth on Monday. But that is getting the first ever Warner Archive 4K, which is pretty damn cool. Amadeus is on here. So there you go, Mozart's Ghosts. A ton of other 4K catalog in the works at Warner Brothers for the next 12 to 24 months. Hopefully that's the Nightmare on Elm Street movies also. And hopefully they license those there. Amadeus, Constantine, Seven. We've all heard about those, but we've also got The Right Stuff, which a lot of people have been wanting The Right Stuff, and Little Shop of Horrors. Should be coming next year as well. And now we come to Disney, and thus the 20th Century Studios, Touchstone, Hollywood Pictures as well. We got Tron Ares. That's the sequel to the Tron movies. And they're saying that we should get Tron and Tron Legacy next year, which we talked about. The Sound of Music is supposed to be coming to 4K. And here's something I think a lot of people will be excited about, because I get comments about one of these movies all the time, Master and Commander, The Far Side of the World. But Kingdom of Heaven, people bring that one up all the time. And I think both of those are Fox. So that's pretty cool that we could be getting Master and Commander and Kingdom of Heaven next year. And I think that's it. But he does say something important that I should add here about the titles I just mentioned. This definitely isn't all of the titles I've heard are being considered, scheduled, and or worked on for 4K in the next year ahead. But this is already a terrific list of titles, and the fact that more are coming too should make you every bit as excited as I am to see what 2025 will bring to the 4K format. So, yeah, he's basically saying like next year could be the blowout year for physical media. Like we're just going to go all out and release everything, which I think is awesome. And you should too. Okay. So let's see what you guys are saying. Yeah, and the thing about Warner Archive is that Searchers 4K is on a 100 gigabyte disc, and the regular Warner Brothers 4Ks don't usually get that treatment. So that Searchers 4K is gonna be top tier. That is gonna be top tier for sure. Yeah, we do need the sequels for Die Hard. I agree. Yes, please just give it to Arrow. They're going to do the best job. They're going to make you the most money probably at the end of the day. But damn it. Oh, that's depressing. I'm still excited to get my Full Moon box set. So who owns Clerks, Chasing Amy, and Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back, Michelle? Is that those are Miramax, weren't they? I don't know. I get confused when talking about the whole Miramax, Lionsgate, Paramounts, Disney, that whole relationship. Like they were all together and they've done switched around. Like we got so many Paramount Blu-rays that went back to Lionsgate, and it's very, that whole situation's weird. But what's Dogma? Wasn't Dogma Miramax as well? I don't know. I thought they were all the same. I want Good Will Hunting. Like, can we get that? Can we get that on 4K? Yeah, I'm excited because that's a big one that I haven't seen. But I remember when I did my Western month and I watched like 22 Westerns for the first time, like everybody kept telling me to watch The Searchers, but I was kind of like tapped out and I couldn't watch it anymore because the month was ending. I didn't have time. I was like, I'll get to it eventually, but like I'll wait for the 4K and watch it for the first time. I'm definitely excited for that. Excited for that a lot. Crying for Uncle Buck. All right, guys, let's get into the tier ranking. We're an hour and 16 minutes into the show. Everybody's like, God, Ken, you going to wait all night to get us into the tier ranking? That's what I do, guys. I string you along. I try to answer the chat, answer questions. I just like hanging out with you guys. That's what it is. Did you say Pew Pew? Yeah, I'm not a Florence Pugh fan. That's an actor I'm not a fan of. Or no, I think you're talking about Westerns, aren't you? Anyway, tier ranking of the boutique labels. I'm sure I'm going to make somebody mad, piss somebody off. Didn't I set this up differently? Yeah, this is the good way to do this. Hold on, what about now? Oh, that just takes it out completely. I'm down here in the corner. All right, Michelle's answering. No, Dogma was owned personally by the Weinsteins because Disney didn't want to release it through Miramax, which apparently someone finally bought off him. The other three Smiths were Miramax, Dementia. Okay, that makes sense. Yeah, I forgot Miramax was owned by Disney. I forgot about that. So, but I mean, still, like that should be getting some kind of physical release as well. But I guess that wouldn't be in the bundle that he was referring to. All right, so I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. Well, it says I had 23. Did I miss one there? I might have. It says I have 23 in here. Does anybody have anything that they think I need to add? I need to add, my list cannot live without it. It's going to be invalid if I don't have it. I pretty much just tried to copy what I put last time. I didn't put Visual Vengeance on here because I don't think they put anything out since last year. No, probably not. Although I wouldn't say that. Like, I can definitely talk to myself for a long time. Like, I filmed videos that went way over 40 minutes, 50 minutes, and I have to try to trim them down to like 30 minutes. So I can definitely talk to myself. But yeah, the chat keeps it moving for sure. All right. If nobody else has anything they want me to add, we're gonna get started. Radiance is on here. Radiance is on here, DJ. It's right next to 101 Films. All right, let's get it started. We're gonna start with Via Vision. So they released a lot of cool stuff. They just did that American Psycho. I'll be honest though, like in my head, I get confused sometimes. Like, what's Imprint? What's Via Vision? But Via Vision just did that American Psycho release. They did Halloween, I think 2 and 3 this year. They did the Rob Zombie Halloweens. They did like a release for that. They've done cool stuff. I feel like there was one like big release they did. I can't think of off the top of my head. But that American Psycho, like they definitely do some cool packaging for sure. I haven't bought a ton from them. So I like the stuff that they do. I think they do good stuff, and I haven't really heard a ton of negative about them other than the Saul sets that they released a couple of years ago. So I would feel comfortable putting them in B, which is, an adequate job. They do adequate work for physical media. Does anybody object to that? Yeah, overall, price, technical quality, packaging, features, everything, 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 everything. So next up, we got Imprints. I mean, Imprint is a good label. I would say Imprint's probably the most overpriced label. I don't have a ton from Imprints. I've got like 5 releases maybe total, but I will say this about them. They put a lot of stuff out and they announce a lot of cool things, a lot of box sets that are really cool looking. I just don't buy a lot from them. But they did release Never Ending Story 4K box set. I am getting that in. Hopefully at the end of November, early December, but I don't have it yet. So maybe if I got that in and I loved it and it was my favorite release of the year, I could bump them up to A. But I think B is also good for Imprints considering, the prices. But also, hold on. Imprint does do a lot of stuff on Blu-ray for the first time. And they do add good new special features. I feel like they more recently got into 4K. They weren't doing 4K for a while. Now they're doing some 4Ks. They've done some cool releases. I'm not like overly impressed with their packaging because it feels a little cheap. But I feel like their slate of movies, like they've got a lot. Like they've done like, I feel like over 300 releases, like, and they're a fairly new label as well. I don't know. I think I could probably get Imprint an A. I can get him an A. I'm just going to bank on the fact that Never Ending Story is going to be my favorite release of the year because it has to be. I spent $200 on it. So that's going in A. It's going in A. Let's see. 101 Films. I don't have a ton from them, but I feel like they do good quality work. And I feel comfortable putting them in B. I think that's a good spot for 101 Films. Radiance does a lot of good work. They definitely have built an audience and a fan base for what they do. New features. And I'll say this about Radiance. I haven't checked out like all the stuff they do. I probably watched 5 or 6 of their releases. But their Blu-rays, they haven't done a 4K yet. At least I don't think they have. But their Blu-rays are like top tier. They're like some of the best Blu-ray scans I've seen. So they do great work. I can put Radiance in A. I can put Radiance in A with Imprint. I don't know if anybody would object to that or not. Eureka. Eureka made a big move this year. They started releasing some of their titles domestically, which I think is pretty huge for Eureka, and it kind of puts them on the same playing field as Radiance and Arrow Films. But I'll be honest, like I'm not super into the kung fu stuff yet, and they do a lot of that. They do a lot of that kind of stuff. They do some like old school horror stuff as well, but they do a lot of the kung fu stuff. And I don't know, I'm not like super into it. And the one like big release they did, Vinegar Syndrome put out a better one. So I feel like for right now, Eureka would be in B tier for me, but I'm sure there's some diehard Eureka fans that that would want to maybe push them a little bit higher. So, see, Michelle says B is a good place for Imprint based on what's out now. Yeah. Yeah, I almost put Grindhouse on there, but I only have one release they've done this year, and that's the Impulse release. But that was a really good release. Maybe I should have put them on here, but I didn't. Indicator, yeah, I don't have. I think I have one Indicator. Yeah, Fun City Editions, Deaf Crocodile, who's kind of made they used to be partner labels and they made their way on their own. I don't have anything from them. I did want to get what's that one 80s movie that Fun City put out? Heavenly Bodies. I did want to get that. But yeah. DJ says Radiance is up there for up there with Criterion. Yeah, that box set was pretty damn nice. That was good. Nice. That was nice. All right, let's see. Where am I going next? Oh, we got a heavy hitter here, guys. There's no other spot for Second Sight. I don't even have to talk about them too much, but like Second Sight's S tier for sure for me. They're in contention for like best label, I think, overall. They're always stunning transfers. I feel like the movies that they're putting out right now just speak to me like no other label at this point. Their special features are incredible, like 90% of the time. And I actually do think for what they offer, like they're pretty affordable. Yeah, it's $49.99 is pretty expensive, but that's usually for the 4Ks. The Blu-rays are usually like, a little bit under 40 if you get it off of Diabolic. And I honestly think for what you get from a Second Sight, like $50 isn't a terrible price for that. It sucks that we're at that place now where like $50 isn't bad. But like the Hitcher box set was an incredible box set. It was $60 and you get that big, nice booklet in there and so many incredible features. Like Second Sight, what I've noticed is they take their time. They take their time like with the special features. Like you put on a special feature from Second Sight and they're not rushing it. It's like a 30, 40-minute interview. And they had several of those on the Hitcher set. Whereas like if you watch a special feature from Scream Factory or some of the other labels, a studio special feature, it's like 5-10 minutes or something. It just feels like they're rushing through it. Like they're just like shitting it out to get it on the release. But Second Sight, like they did a freaking hour and a half conversation with Adam Wingard and Simon Barrett on You're Next. It's just them talking about the movie. It wasn't a commentary. It was just them talking about the movie. So like I think they do like some of the best features. Like they produce some of the best features. They're always just quality and they always go into great stuff on the movies. And I truly believe like you buy a Second Sight edition of a film, like you've got the definitive edition for life. You don't have to buy anything else. That's why I bought the Texas Chainsaw Massacre set. I don't have to worry about a damn chainsaw set for $400. I have the definitive edition already. I don't have to worry about anything else. I got the best that there is. And there won't ever be anything better because that's it. So, but yeah, I love Second Sight. Them doing stuff like It Follows and The Witch and Drive and The Guest. It's like these are like some of my favorite films of the 2010s, and I love that they're tapping into that era of movies because it's kind of an untapped era right now. It's a recent era, but it is kind of untapped as well because everybody's so laser focused on like 70s, 80s, 90s that they're not diving into the 2000s and 2010s as much. And Second Sight is doing that. And they're doing it better than anybody else, in my opinion. And the quality of the movies and the kinds of movies they put out are awesome. See, somebody says their curation needs work, and I couldn't disagree more. Like I love them because of their curation, honestly. I just think it's like Creep, like come on, Blair Witch Project, Late Night with the Devil, like they always tap into like what's popular, like with the horror fans now, like what's really popping off, and they do cool editions of that, like Late Night with the Devil. Revenge, when they put that out, that was a really cool movie. And I don't know, they're just the best. They're just the best. I don't know. So yeah, that's my spiel for Second Sight. S tier, wouldn't put it anywhere else. Oh, we got Scream Factory, guys. Where do I put good old Scream Factory? And I lump Shout Factory in with Scream. I didn't separate them. Scream, Shout, they're all together. Shout Studios. I give Scream look, I gotta give them I gotta give them A. I'm not gonna give them S, but I can give them A. They have their issues. I think that for what they charge and what they give, I don't think it's in line with some of the other labels. Paying $37, $38 for just a slipcover, when it's all said and done with shipping and everything, like it's not comparable to what you get from like Vinegar Syndrome and an Arrow Video and a Second Sight. But Screen Factory does really good work. They've upped their game with their 4Ks, and like some of their 4Ks are some of the best I've seen all year. Like Poltergeist 2 was mind blowing, but I'm also not like completely on board for their curation. Like there's been a lot of stuff they put out this year that I just haven't been interested in. But I do feel like over the past like 2 years, because their first couple years in 4K, they did some good stuff, but I feel like the last 2 years, 4K and Screen Factory, like they have done some incredible releases, incredible 4Ks. I get the criticism that they're just basically doing a ton of like 4K upgrades and not doing a lot of new stuff. Which like Arrow Video, Criterion, like a lot of the boutiques, Vinegar Syndrome especially, they're putting out a lot of new stuff, a lot of new titles they've never done before. Whereas at this point, Scream Factory is doing a ton of upgrades, and they're not doing a lot of new stuff like some of the other labels. Like there's months where it feels like all they do is upgrades, So I get it. If you've been collecting for Scream Factory for a long time, that's probably not the most exciting for you. But at the same time, like a lot of those movies, if you like 4K, you kind of want them in 4K. So the work needs to be done at some point. But they don't add new special features on a lot of them. I will give them credit because, and I've said this before, I feel like they're the only boutique label that'll do an upgrade within their line. And what I mean by that is they've done the Blu-ray and now they're doing the 4K. And most companies will just port the features over and they won't add anything new. Screen Factory might be the only one that I've seen that will add new stuff from time to time. Like the Shocker 4K has new features. Child's Play had new features. Night of the Demons had new features, and those were all pre-existing Blu-rays from Screen Factory. So I like Screen Factory. I'm a fan. But when you start to get into the pins for $70 and the art cards for $40, it's like, come on. Like Arrow Video and other people are throwing art cards in there as a part of the original package, but you guys are charging $50 more for it. It gets a little ridiculous. You don't have to get that stuff, but it just stuff like that makes Scream Factory just a little laughable and ridiculous as a company when you really think about it. But I'm still a fan. I put them in A, for goodness sake. They're still good. They're still good. And yeah, the Faculty I'm really looking forward to, for sure. For sure. Kino Lorba. I love Kino. I do. They're A. Kino's A. I feel comfortable putting Kino in A because they're just so, they just grind so hard. Like, and somebody, DJ put it right here. Kino Lorber's hard to rank because they release so much crap, but also good stuff. It's like they just release so much. It's like some you're not even interested in, you'll never look at, and other stuff you get so excited for. But I think overall Kino does good work, and they are a very affordable label. Like in this current physical media climate, as far as pricing, like Kino Lorber is the working man's boutique label. Like they're affordable, and if you don't want to get the 4K like right away, oftentimes wait a couple months. The next Kino sale, you can pick it up for $17.99, and in most cases, it'll still have that slip cover, so you don't have to worry about that. And I just love Kino. I just see them as the people that has their nose to the ground, and they're just working. They're just working hard. They're staying out of the bullshit, and they're just putting shit out. They're just putting shit out. They're just hard workers. Like I just think, they don't care about all the bullshit with the packaging and all that. And, I of course I care about packaging. But with Kino, like it just is what it is. That's the kind of label that they are, and that's the kind of label they built, and they do nice slip covers, and that's all they do. So, and they keep the prices down. Like I said, those sales are fantastic. And they've done so many like great movies. Like talk about the Criterion collection, but like Kino Lorber. And Kino Lorber has taken a lot of the Criterion collection and upgraded it to 4K. But Kino Lorber's got like some of my favorite movies of all time, some of the best classic movies of all time. They've got comedies, they've got horror films. They cover like all the genres. Like you can never pin down Kino Lorber. Like they cover everything. And I just think they're one of the hardest working boutique labels as far as like output. And they're just always hustling. And I respect that. So, but they don't do a ton of new special features. That kind of holds them back. Like I said, packaging, it is what it is. And as long as, look, I'm okay with the label. Like, as long as they built an expectation for me to expect from them and they deliver on that, I'm okay. Like, I don't expect great packaging from Kino. It's Kino. They don't ever do it. So that's fine with me. But, they don't add a lot of new special features. They do on just randomly on some titles like Crybaby. Like, they loaded that sucker up with 9 new special features, which was incredible. I love that release. It's such a great release. But, I definitely like to see them get into features a little bit more. I think they will as time goes on. But, yeah, great label. I love Kino, well documented. I'm a big Kino fan, but I just can't get them. Up to the S tier, Arrow Video, they're probably my favorite label. It's Second Sight and Arrow Video neck and neck, but Arrow Video I love. I still think they had the best year of any boutique label last year. Like that 2023 run for Arrow Video is something I've never seen out of anybody else. Like they were just knocking it banger after banger after banger after banger. So it's felt like 2024 in comparison has definitely been a weaker year, but like it still hasn't been an overall weak year. Like it's still been a very good year for Arrow Video. They've done some incredible stuff this year. I think American Gigolo is one of the best releases of the year. And obviously the Conan movies that came out right at the beginning of the year were incredible. But American Gigolo had like 9 new features and they were all spectacular. They've done some great box set releases. Trick or Treat was recently. The Robert Rodriguez box set that they did, Silence of the Lambs over in the UK. They've had a solid year. Like they have had a very, very solid year. It's not 2023 solid, but it is compared to the other labels, like I still think on top. I still think this year's on top for Arrow Video for sure. So yeah, they always, like, you just know that when Arrow Video announces something, you're going to get the best treatment for that film. So I'm always comfortable with Arrow Video doing everything, to be honest. So yeah, great features, pretty much the same thing as Second Sight. Great features, great packaging in most cases. Every now and then they'll do a slipcover version for something you thought they maybe should have done a box set for, like Trick or Treat. But it is what it is. You can't get it all the way that you want it. But overall, I think Arrow Video is just a spectacular label, and I'm rarely ever disappointed with an Arrow Video 4K release. They always look great. Even their Blu-rays look great, But yeah, Michelle said Arrow has had a pretty solid this year. I just got my Hellraiser box set in the mail today. Awesome. That's such a great set. I'm glad they released that in the States for sure. Kino is definitely not pretentious. That's the word. That's the word again. Yeah. Yeah. No, Kino's not pretentious, man. They put out anything and everything. They don't care, They put out everything. Kino seems to have their 4Ks in stock on release date. Yeah. Arrow customer service, if you have to deal with them, is F tier. God have mercy on your soul if you contact their support. Yeah, I haven't done that yet. I'll see you later, Screaming Geek. Appreciate you being here, man. Let's see. The one knock on Arrow is they don't pull their stock when discs are recalled. They leave it up to the customer to notice the issue. And yeah, I can see that being an issue. I can see it being an issue. But even that, what was that box set they did at the beginning of the year? The Coffin Joe box set. Like, that was a really spectacular box set. They just did that J Horror box set. Like, oh yeah. Like, come on, man. Demolition Man. Like, they pulled it out. They won the year for me just with that. Like, I'm so looking forward to Demolition Man. So excited. Like, the fact that Arrow Video announced that, like, that could have been like a Kino title or something, which I still would have been excited for it. But like, the fact that it's Arrow, I'm like, it just feels so validating, to have that movie, one of your favorites of all time, to get that kind of treatment. And yeah, I'm so excited for that. So excited for that. But let's get back to it. And we'll talk about Troma. Has Troma done anything this year? I don't even know why I put them on here. I'll give Troma C just for still riding the high of the Toxic Avengers set, because those were great 4Ks. I know they had the help from Vinegar Syndrome, but those were really good 4Ks. And those movies are fun. But I don't know if Troma put anything out this year, but I still put them on the list. C tier for Troma. Umbrella Entertainment is God, Umbrella. I'm putting them in A right now, but if you guys can talk me into S, it's not going to be that hard for me to want to put them in S. The only thing that holds me back from Umbrella, their packaging, top tier. Their movies they're putting out, like the stuff they're putting out, top tier, exciting stuff. Like every month, the way that they're marketing their stuff, the way that they're announcing their stuff, like they're on another level right now. They're growing and they are becoming a legitimate player in the game, like worldwide, not in just Australia. The only thing that holds me back for Umbrella is they still haven't like full on embraced 4K, and I don't feel like completely comfortable with Umbrella and their 4Ks. First off, like I think that they do their own restorations, but I heard from somebody at one point that Umbrella doesn't do their own restorations. So I just kind of doubt their ability to give something the proper 4K treatment if they put it out. because I wasn't really impressed with JSA, if I'm being honest, on 4K. I didn't watch the raid. I'm assuming that was the same as the Sony transfer. It could have been different, but the fact that I'm unsure of like if they're actually doing the work for their releases or if they're just licensing the scans or not, um, prevents them from getting any higher. And they also don't do a ton of new features. They don't do a ton of new features. I feel like Umbrella is like kind of an all package label, if that makes any sense. And the packaging's great. Like they're some of the best packaging in the game. And I love how they put slip covers inside of a box set because not everybody does that. And I think that's great. And yeah, we got to get into this a little bit. It's pricey, guys. It's pricey. And I'm going to talk about that because I got an Umbrella showcase coming out tomorrow, where I talk about the prices a little bit. I'm like, this is really a super like boutique label. Like this is a whole nother level of expensive, and you can get the dumbed down versions for sure. You can get the slipcover, you can get the regular version. They give you options, but if you're in the States and some of them releases are like $75 to get the box set, like that's pricey. That's pricey, especially when they're not adding a bunch of new special features, loads of special features. Like maybe at best you'll get a couple and maybe a new audio commentary, but they're not doing special features on the level of Arrow and Second Sight, which prevents me from moving them up to that spot. But it does get expensive with them. And it's like, if you can bundle a few releases together and maybe, wait a couple months till you get them, but sometimes it's limited and those things sell out. So that's disappointing as well. But yeah, that Terrifier set coming out, it's like $100 and it's expensive stuff. It's expensive stuff for sure. But whenever they announce something, it's exciting. The box sets are exciting. The packaging's exciting. I think they're doing some of the best work in packaging, and they're doing some really cool titles and giving great packaging to really cool movies as well. Like that Hell House box set is so cool, and that's first time to Blu-ray for all those films. So that's awesome. So I can't get Umbrella to S. I can get them to A, based on packaging mostly and movie selection, but curation. But I think the lack of special features and the fact that I'm still kind of unsure on like how their restoration process actually works or what they do for that kind of holds them back to the A tier. So that's just my opinion. DJ says S tier. I can't even rank Umbrella. Umbrella's S tier. Yeah, a lot of people think of Umbrella as S tier. I get it. I get it. Disney. I got a bottom tier one. Do I? Do I got a bottom? No, Disney's not a boutique. I'm not adding them. But even like Disney, it's like I love to hate on Disney, but like they've done some good stuff this year. So I don't know if they'd be at the bottom, if I'm being honest. They just did Signs in the Sixth Sense, and they gave us True Lies, and say what you want about them, but they gave us True Lies and The Abyss and Aliens, and they all had new features, and a lot of their streaming shows got physical releases this year, and I love the shit on Disney, but like they're actually doing some cool stuff, in 2024. More than they did last year, I feel like. Disney would be B this year, but that is B for bottom. I hate Disney. I thought you were legitimately going to say B, because I would probably be with you. I would probably say Disney's B this year so far. But yeah. Cauldron Films, I probably should have maybe put them on here because they did, what did they do? Did Cauldron Films do the Convents? Was that Cauldron? Let's talk about 88 Films. They do a lot of Kung Fu stuff too, same as Eureka, but what have they done this year? They did Oh, that Project A collection was nice. That was nice. But 88 Films, their output is incredible. Their output's incredible. Um, I'm really struggling with this. I love that American Pie release so much. Like, I want to put them an A just for that. But it's just one release, you know? Do they really deserve to be up there with Imprint, Radiance and Scream and Kino Lorber and Umbrella because of that? Um, I'm comfortable keeping them at B, you know. They do a lot of good stuff though. They do a lot of good stuff. They lack on extras. Probably A tier. Yeah, they did such a great job on that American Pie, man. They really did. They really killed that. Um, but I don't know if I can get them up to A just for that one release. I wouldn't feel right about that. So I keep them at B for now. Should I do Vinegar Syndrome already? I'm going to move Vinegar Syndrome to the back. Back of the line, Vinegar Syndrome. Vestron Video, they've just, they've done a few steelbooks this year, but they haven't put out any new titles. But overall, like, I like Vestron. They're affordable. But it does feel like they've slowed way down. For sure. And they don't always do a lot of new features. I think C tier. C tier for Vestron. All right, let's talk about Criterion. S tier for Criterion. Let's really break this down. All right. My initial thought is A because I know it's not all about the packaging, but they just do regular Blu-ray covers. They haven't done a ton of digipack releases this year. But like I said, it's not all based on this year. They do have a good curation. Like they've done a lot of great stuff, and they do, I feel like, really cater and take care of their audience, people that love the Criterion Collection and the type of films that they put out. They do take care of their audience, which I appreciate that. And they keep them engaged and they keep them excited. Usually when they announce stuff, like, people are happy. Like, I don't see a ton of negativity surrounding Criterion and their fan base. So I can't base this entirely on my thoughts on their announcements, because sometimes I'm like, that was a little bit lackluster, but people always seem excited. Like, nobody's really talking shit about what they announce. Like, unlike Vinegar Syndrome, it feels like people talk shit about what they announce all the time. But Criterion, it feels like people are generally like excited for what they put out. So I think that's something to think about as well. But the thing that holds me back for Criterion, it's not just packaging, because they built the expectation that they put out their Criterion Blu-ray cases and they'll do digipacks sometimes, and that's what they've always done. So it's not really fair to criticize them on that. But I'm not saying their transfers are bad. Usually I think their transfers are great, but the fact that they don't, it feels like they're a little lazy with what they add, like the HDR to and the Dolby Vision. Like, there's a lot of black and white films coming that they're just leaving HDR off of. And I love the look of black and white films with the HDR. I think it looks so good. Really enhances that contrast and just makes everything pop and adds so much depth to the picture quality. So I feel like I should knock them down a little bit for that. Also, features, like, they are seriously lacking on special features. Seriously lacking. Like, there's sometimes I get a Criterion and they've got maybe one new feature. One, and I feel like they used to be a lot better. But even when I go back and check out some of the older Criterions, a lot of times it's just one feature, and it's maybe like an old interview on a talk show from like the 70s or something. And some of them have short films as well, and some of them might have bonus films also, and they usually have some cool, like, archival stuff to dig into. But, like, as far as like new features with new interviews, you don't get that a ton with Criterion, especially not anymore. Like I've seen releases from Criterion that just have like one new feature, and sometimes they don't even have a new commentary. So I think they're falling behind in that area because Criterion it feels like the one that started it all with like the special features. Like they were at the beginning of that, putting new features out, doing commentaries back in the Laserdisc days. And it feels like they've fallen way behind people like Arrow Video and Second Sight in terms of special features. So that's my hang up with them is their features, and also I don't feel like I feel like they're taking the cheap way out on some of the restorations and the scans. Um, and their fan base will never criticize that or call that out for some reason. It always feels like Criterion's on a pedestal and nobody ever really tries to take them down a little bit. But I think overall, like I'm generally happy with the 4K that I get from Criterion. You know, I haven't watched a ton this year, but you know, Bound looked really good. I did enjoy that 4K. Pat Garrett and Billy the Kid, that was definitely one of the best releases they've done in a while. And that was a 4-disc set. And that looked incredible on 4K. And I really enjoyed the movie. But again, this comes with a little bit of bias. I'm not a Criterion head, but I think objectively, when I look at it compared to some of the other boutique labels, I think Criterion for me fits. I think it's fair to put them in A. I think it's fair to put them in A. So that's where I'm keeping Criterion as of right now. And they do it. Look, we just talked about the Scream Factor, but I'd say that the label that does this the second most is Criterion in terms of like upgrading their stuff to 4K. Like they do so many upgrades to 4K of previous titles. They do it a lot too. I'm not saying they do it on a level of Scream Factor. They usually have something new in the pipeline to come out, but they do it a lot as well. All right, Mill Creek. I got to give them at least C tier because that Walk Hard Steelbook this year was clean as hell. I love that Walk Hard Steelbook. The Hollow Man Steelbook was good too. Other than that, they ain't really done shit this year. They ain't really done shit. They're getting ready to put out King of Queens on Blu-ray, but I already have that on Blu-ray from them. So I think it's like a re-release. But yeah, they ain't done jack shit this year, other than those steel books at the beginning of the year, which were cool. But and I'll give them C for that. But yeah, Mill Creek need to step it up a little bit. Studio Canal I put on here, but I can't think of I know I've gotten stuff from them this year. I can't think of anything off the top of my head though. But overall, like Studio Canal, they do some good releases. I feel like I can put them in the B category. I mean, they did the Peeping Tom release earlier this year that I can remember, but then Criterion did it. So, you know, I don't know. Studio Canal, they do good work. Oh, they did The Conversation. Okay. Did they do what was it? The Third Man? Did they do that one too? Yeah, they did. They put out The Third Man too. Those are some nice box sets. For some reason on my mind, I wasn't thinking they did those. I was thinking Eureka for some reason. So I'll give Studio Canal A. I'll give them Studio Canal A because they're primarily in the UK, and I think they do a lot of good stuff. What's up, Illuminated Pro? Oh no, I that's a Blu-ray with a 4K scan. That looks fantastic. I thought that looked great to the point where if they put that out on 4K, I don't know if I would pick it up. At least not right away because I was happy with that Blu-ray. So yeah, I don't know who told you that. They were wrong. Damn it. A24 I put on here just because they do those limited, they do those site exclusives, and it's kind of like a boutique label. You know, they sell them from their website. It's their own kind of branding and packaging, and I kind of see them as a boutique label, you know, from an independent studio. So A24, those little packaged releases are pretty cool, and you know, I do wish that they would also let Lionsgate do the ones they put out as well to give people a little bit more affordable option to get those if they don't want the premium editions. But I get why they don't, you know, because they want to be able to sell those from their website. I think they've done some good stuff this year. I feel comfortable putting them in the B tier. Love Lies Bleeding is a really good movie. I keep forgetting about that one, but that honestly was one of the better films I've seen this year. And they did Zone of Interest. They did what was that weird movie that I haven't watched yet? It was damn it, I can't think of it. I saw the TV Glow. I saw the TV Glow. Yeah, I haven't checked that one out yet, but yeah, A24 I feel comfortable putting in the B tier. But guys, I gotta use the restroom real quick. I drank too much coffee, and I'll be right back after these messages. Please stand by. All right, I'm back. I'm back. Uh, I see that comment at the bottom. Yeah, I just had the realization that I'm getting old. You know, I'll be 40 next year, and I used to be able to do like 2.5, 3 hour live streams. Wouldn't have to go to the bathroom, and now I can't go. You know, well, I've gone 2 hours. I've gone 2 hours now, so that's pretty good. I can't believe I've already gone 2 hours. I got to wrap this up, for goodness sakes. Let's talk about the Blue Underground. What have they done this year? They've done so. I haven't loved the releases they put out, to be honest. I can't even remember what they've done. But that Death Dream movie, that was okay. But they also did that Jess Franco Bloody Judge movie, and I didn't like that at all. So I haven't been a huge fan of what they've done this year. So I'm going to put them in the C category. But their transfers are always great. But at this point, they're just doing a bunch of upgrades. They're not really doing anything new. So I saw a TV Glow was kind of cringy. Yeah, I don't love their weird, awkward packaging, like those kind of releases. I like their little, kind of slipcover editions. Like those are nice and they fit on the shelf and you don't have to worry about them. But those, why they're making these like premium editions that are all different sizes, like I don't get what they expect people to do with that kind of stuff. That's why I've never bought one. Everybody went out and got that Lighthouse release, and then Arrow Video released like the definitive version of the Lighthouse on 4K with like a brand new documentary. And I was like, Arrow Video just like killed that edition, killed that, made that whole A24 Lighthouse invalid. I still see people picking it up though because they're A24 hits. But Blue Underground is it's a good label. They've done some great stuff in the past, but for me, like right now, they're C label currently. MVD Rewind they've done good stuff. I'm disappointed they haven't done as many 4Ks this year as I was hoping they would do, but they did do Cutting Class, which I thought was an incredible 4K, and they did Ghoulies 2, which I thought was also an incredible 4K. And they've done some really cool Blu-ray releases. I'm excited to check out that 1982 release, and I feel like MVD Rewind is pretty consistent. They're up to like 61 as far as the line, and I dig that line. I like the aesthetic of the packaging. I like the the curation. The movies they put out are usually pretty fun and interesting, and I'm pretty sure they usually have some new features on there as well. Pretty sure. And the quality is always good. Blu-ray quality, 4K quality. It's not like the best, but it's usually solid. So I'll give it to Rewind. And I like how they put a little poster on the inside. I think that's pretty cool. So yeah, I can give Rewind. I can put them in B. And yeah, looking at this, guys, I don't know if I don't guess anything is gonna go in the D category. If it wasn't for Walk Hard, I could have got Mill Creek in that category, but I like that release. Synapse Films. I mean, look, they just did a banger of a release. Yeah, it was technically Red Shirt Pictures, but it was also Synapse Films with Trick or Treat. And they've also done, they've done a lot of re-releases this year too. But I feel like they do good, consistent work. And whenever they do put out a Blu-ray, it's always great quality. I don't know if I can get them up to A, though, this year. Can somebody call out another couple of like great releases they've done this year? Maybe. I got my Trick or Treat 4K. They're all sold out. I bought the Arrow 4K. They're good ones. Yeah, Hardware Wars was cool. Good price. That's a good point. I haven't been talking about the pricing as much, but that's a good point. Okay. I would like to share something. Highway to Halloween would have been a much better title for Trick or Treat. Nice. Good quality releases, not my type of stuff. Yeah, I wasn't a fan of Crocodile. So Synapse did Convent. Blue Sunshine. Yeah, I just don't feel like they've done a ton this year. I feel like last year they did way more. I'm trying to look. Like, they did the Demons movies, but they've already done those. Like, those are just like re-releases. So, I can give them B, pretty much just for Trick or Treat. And again, that was a collaborative effort. So, Synops has had better years. I'm not saying they don't have great quality, but they've definitely had better years. They're not like in the most predominant spot. Yeah, I don't buy Dark Force. They're kind of shitty to people on social media. I have noticed that a lot of people kind of call them out on it. I haven't bought anything from them. Oh, I forgot to put like a big one on here that I should have. Let me get this guy. I don't know if I'm going to be able to add it now, but I didn't add TerraVision. I didn't add TerraVision. And I just got something really awesome from them. And they also announced a really cool title, Rumpelstiltskin, towards the end of the year. So if I was honestly, I think TerraVision's kind of on the rise. For me, like I might have to still put them in B tier, but they're close to A tier for me. Yeah, I didn't get Celluloid Dreams on there either. I haven't checked out that release yet, but I saw they announced their second title. Indicator, I just don't collect for too much. Yeah, that's what happens when I put this. Paramount Presents I should have put on there. That's kind of like a boutique label within a studio. Paramount Presents would have been A probably. They've done some good stuff this year. Some really cool stuff. Solid stuff. Chinatown, Bringing Out the Dead, like those alone could get that in A tier, I think. Those are really great releases. But yeah, look, next time I do this, guys, I'm gonna make sure I don't forget anything. But yeah, I'm kind of bummed I forgot TerraVision and Paramount Presents, to be honest. Paramount Presents would probably be an A. TerraVision would be in B, but a close like A. Because I think they're building up. I think their 2025 is gonna be really strong, actually. Damn it, Warner Archive I wanted to add too. I thought I freaking sent those to myself. I'm a failure. Yeah, people love the Indicator. I haven't gotten too into them. But all right, so we got Severin. I mean, look, I'm not a fan of everything they do, but you can't deny that Severin is A. They just did a freaking amazing looking box set. What's it called? All the Haunts BRs, the folk horror box set. It was volume 2. They do a lot of gothic horror box sets, the Macabre sets, Danza Macabre sets. I mean, they started off the year pretty strong with me. I mean, I got Burial Ground. I got the whole bundle. I got the whole freaking The Great Alligator, Devil's Honey, Kathy's Curse with a light up slipcover, which was supposed to be awesome and cool. If they could have pulled that off correctly, I might have put them in A. No, I probably wouldn't. Not A, but S. Probably not though, because I still think their packaging is a little lackluster and their features are, sometimes. I mean, they do great features, but that Butcher Baker Nightmare Maker, which was also in that bundle, was kind of like, what the hell? Like you said, 6 hours of special features and their audio commentaries. What's going on here? But they're a major player. And they're on the rise. And like we talked about earlier, I love the way that they're promoting themselves and their announcements. And I think they're doing good stuff. For sure. So I can't leave them at A. I got to put them in A. But another thing that could keep them out of S though is their prices. They're a little much. There's a little much. Synopsis, a top tier boutique label guide. Did you see what they did with Massacre at Central High? They dropped Blue Sunshine, Dead and Buried, all pristine transfers. They didn't do Dead and Buried. They did that was Blue Underground. They did Dead and Buried. Unless they did a new one. No, I'm not. Massacre at Central High, I reviewed that on the channel a couple of years ago, back in 2022. And that thing, like that and Living Dead at Manchester Morgue, they looked like 4Ks. Like I'm like, these are 4Ks. You're lying. These are not Blu-rays. You're freaking lying. So yeah, I get it. I just think that right now in the current physical media landscape, they're not a major player. So I would put them at B. Yeah, Severin's doing way more. Like they're way bigger at this point in time than Synops Films. Are you kidding me? They're way bigger as a company. Um, but yeah, you can't deny that. If you deny that, you're just if you would put Severin under Synops, you're just being a little biased there. Like I'm trying to look at things objectively. Norless tapes. Um, yeah, Severin, like that box set they just put out. Synops, like I love Synops. They ain't doing nothing like that. What was that? Like a 22 film box set or some crap? Like 100%. Now they've had a lot of slip ups this year for sure. But they're still at least A, you know. They're still at least A. And they did that Bruce Ploitation box set. Wasn't that like a 15 film box set or something? They've done some incredible stuff this year. Okay. So Vinegar Syndrome to me is S. It's S. The way they've marketed themselves, the way they build hype around their brands, the titles that they put out, the care that they put into their packaging and their special features, new documentaries on a lot of their releases, the way they build hype around their sales, just the way they do their transfers. Like, talk about Arrow Video, talk about Second Sight and their transfers, but like Vinegar Syndrome, they do the work. Like, they go in and they clean this shit up, and they're restoring stuff that's in like the worst possible it's in the worst possible condition in some cases. And they're giving these movies that nobody thought would ever see the light of day on any higher format than DVD, like these 4K editions that just look amazing. I was blown away by The Howling 2. And I think overall, like I was a little down on Vinegar Syndrome in 2023. 2024, I think, has been an incredible year for Vinegar Syndrome. And I know that because I've been excited for and buying stuff like pretty much every month from them. They put something out that I'm interested in. I'm excited to watch the Tenant on 4K. I just got that one in. But the Howling 2 is incredible. The introduction of the cinematography line or cinematography, however you want to pronounce it, that was a really cool line. They started focusing on, American classics from the 70s, 80s, 90s. Like that's a really interesting, mission statement to focus on for sure. Kind of paying attention to these kind of lost American classics that we should be paying attention to. So it's interesting because they kind of created their own like Criterion type sub branch of Vinegar Syndrome. So Little Darlings was amazing. Red Rock West was a great release. Going South, I really enjoyed. Phase 4 was cool. I love the Western they did. 5-card stud. I thought that was really cool. They just randomly put out a Western with Robert Mitchum and Dean Martin. I wish that was in 4K, but it still looked great on Blu-ray. Great features. Like I said, new documentaries, tons of new features. The VSU line, Southern Comfort was fantastic. I haven't checked out Navy SEALs yet, and then the announcement of Congo, like, oh God, I love Congo so much. I was so excited when that got announced. I just think that they're always exciting. Like, say what you want about what happens when they actually announce stuff, but like you are always pumped. Like I'm pumped every first of the month to see what they're putting out. And you just know, like at this point, I honestly feel the most comfortable with Vinegar Syndrome as far as their transfers. Like even above Arrow and Second Sight, which Arrow and Second Sight, there's nothing to not be comfortable about. But like with Vinegar Syndrome, like I feel like it's a little bit higher. Like their quality just cannot be matched as far as like their restorations, their packaging. Like they they don't do the same shit. They do like really cool, inventive, creative stuff. Like they're always trying new things. So I just think they hit on every front. And it's subjective, like how you feel about some of the movies they put out. That's always subjective, guys. But I just think it's a really cool line, and I think physical media in general is better when that with Vinegar Syndrome around. And I think that, you know, their prices have gone up, but everybody's kind of gone up a little bit. I think overall for what you get from Vinegar Syndrome, it's a decent price. Maybe a little high, but still, you know, a decent price for most of their stuff. So yeah. Yeah. Yeah, imagine that. A company that's passionate, cultivates a fan base, and puts out great releases. Yeah, I mean, you can't, like, you can say what you want about what they put out. You can't say anything bad about the releases. They're top tier. They're top tier releases in every single way. Every single way. They always knock it out of the park. I don't know if I've ever seen them not knock it out of the park with something they put out. It just doesn't happen. So for me, that they're definitely an S tier. All right, now I'm gonna rank them really quick. We're gonna do this really fast. For me personally, I still got to go Arrow at 1 and Second Sight for 2, and most of that has to do with the curation. I'm just generally more interested in the titles that Arrow and Second Sight put out than Vinegar Syndrome. But like I said, they still put out great stuff that I'm excited about. So they'll go for number 3. Number 4 for me would be Umbrella, and then we go Kino, and then we go Scream, and then we go, I'll give Criterion, I'll throw them a bone, Imprint, Radiance. I'll probably throw Severin above Radiance. Radiance, Studio Canal. Down here, I'd probably put Rewind at the front of the beeline. Synops right behind it. 88 Films right behind Synops for American Pie. Actually, you know what? I'm putting 88 at the front of the line for American Pie. A24 behind that. 101 Films behind that. Eureka behind that. Viavision. And then I'll go Mill Creek. I love that Walk Hard Steelbook. Trauma, Vestron. I don't want to put Blue Underground last. They don't deserve that. I'll put Trauma last because they haven't really done anything this year. Blue Underground, Vestron for the new Steelbooks, and then Trauma. So there you go, guys. And if I had TerraVision in here, like I said, they would probably be ahead of 88 Films, behind Studio Canal, and Paramount Presents would be in the A tier, probably right behind Criterion. Does that work for everybody? I tried. What do you want me to say? What do you want me to say? I think I did. Oh, I accidentally took myself out. What do you guys think? Frank, yes, I'm still on, man. I'm getting ready to get off. There's 168 people in here. Thank you all so much for being here. Roadhouse Showgirls. Yeah, very good customer service. It's top tier, like all around with them. Top tier. Criterion's in the wrong place. Yeah, I did my best, guys. I mean, I do watch older films, Gary. I mean, define older. Like, I don't know what you mean by that. Of course I watch older films. Come on. Eureka puts out a bunch of Kung Fu. Is that what you're talking about? I mean, you could say I don't watch a lot of Kung Fu, but you can't say I don't watch a lot of older films. That's pretty much all I watch at this point is older films. But thank you all for watching. Thank you, Wave, for being here. Thank you, Jerrison. Thank you, Frank. Thank you, Manuel, for joining right at the last minute. Thank you, Brian. Thank you, DJ. Thank you, Gary, Wave, Michelle, Mozart's Ghost for hanging out. Roadhouse Showgirls, great releases. Great releases. Synapse aren't mass producing. They're a 2-man. Yeah, I understand they're a 2-man crew. I understand that. But that's still, you know, I still can't put him in front of Severin because of that. Yeah, well, I'm not just talking transfers. So I'm not trying to argue, okay? I'm not trying to argue. All right. I appreciate you all. Have a great night. And I will see you tomorrow with my umbrella showcase for the month of October. So check that out. We'll see you guys later.